Hello and welcome to my video. In this video we're just going to be talking about Daleks. Now this is specifically for people who may have recently acquired a full-size Dalek or someone who's just built a full-size Dalek and they're looking to use them for events and things like that. I've now owned a Dalek, be it various different ones over the years, for around 13 years, and I thought, I was just sat about and I thought, why don't I put together a video to try and help the people who are just getting into it, because there's so many situations we've encountered over the past 13 years which might be really beneficial to someone who's starting out. It might save a few headaches and awkward situations. So what are the good things to get out of being a Dalek operator / owner, attending these events? Of course, it depends why you're doing it. You might be doing it just for a bit of fun. But I mean, I got into it because I wanted to raise money for charity, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you're going out into the world with your Dalek at venues or out on the streets, whatever you're doing, the most important thing that you need is public liability insurance. Now, a lot of companies, performers, anyone doing something in public eye will have this. It's in case that a situation unfolds where you hurt someone or they hurt themselves on you and they want to pursue it. That public liability insurance just covers you. So make sure it's quite a good one. Make sure it's at least 5 million, and you can get on to a Dalek specific insurance through a friend of mine called Chris Potter on Facebook. He has a public liability insurance which is open to anyone joining, and it's £15 a year. That might be really handy for you to know. So you've got an event coming up, you're insured, but you know it's a Dalek that you've just built or acquired. What's really important? Well, the important things next are just knowing your Dalek, knowing how to take it apart, put it together. If something breaks, having the right tools with you to fix that. But you know, don't underestimate being able to take it apart and put it together, because there might be a situation where you need to get it taken apart and loaded up really quick. You know, because you know, there have been situations in the past when we've needed to get home at a certain time, or you know, road closures and things. So you might need to take it apart really quickly and get it into your vehicle. And then that leads on to the next thing, which we'll get there in a second. But yeah, make sure you've done it at home first. If it's a Dalek that's bolted together, make sure you learn, you know, how to put the bolts in and take them out quickly, but efficiently. You don't want to damage your Dalek. But yeah, as I was saying, the next step is then moving your Dalek, your big, huge beast of a prop, to where it's going. If you've got a car, obviously think about wrapping it up, making sure there's no paintwork going to get scratched because it might be quite compact. If you've got a trailer, make sure it's really secured around the base because it can move about as the trailer bounces as well in the road. Lots to think about. We had a situation where a Dalek that travelled in a trailer arrived at the venue, and because of all the bumping in the trailer, it had damaged the motorised parts, and it had somehow broken some of the gears, I think, and it can drive at the event that it was done. There wasn't really anything he could have done about it, but, you know, with the right supports, you could, I suppose, stop bouncing underneath the fender. Just something to think about. It's not something I would have thought about originally. So you're finally at the event. You're unloaded, you're set up, you're insured, and your Dalek's made it in one piece. Now, this is, again, more really important things, but don't underestimate this really, really cool feature or this perk that comes with going to events. You get to meet amazing people, and of course, introduce yourself. Don't be shy. These are people that love what you do. They do it themselves. They've probably got Daleks themselves. They want to talk to you, and they perhaps they're shy as well. So don't judge a book, because You might think they're giving you evils, but in fact they're just shy. And just introduce yourself, and if you need a hand, ask them to give you a hand to unload, and you can make some fantastic friends for life. Honestly, I've still got people that I talk to on a daily basis, or almost on a daily basis, that I've known since I began in 2009, and it's just really, really lovely. And I just don't underestimate little things like that. Meeting people, it's a great perk that comes with going to these events. And of course, you can pick up ideas. You can learn things along the way, what other people have done differently, and it's great. And this goes for all different fandoms, whether it's Star Wars and the 501st. You can learn so much if you're just talking to people. So again, it's fantastic to get to know the people that you're going to the event with. Say it's a 2-day event and you're wanting to leave your Dalek overnight. Just check to make sure that the security is at the highest level it can be, because you don't want to end up coming back the next day and someone snuck in or damaged or even taken your belongings. That's just another thing to think about. Luckily, over the years, we've been quite fortunate and security has been top notch at all the events that we've attended. Now, again, on to the subject of attending events. When you're in your Dalek, if you're on your own, this could pose some problems, because unfortunately you do come across situations where it is, I recommend that you always have a spotter with you no matter what. If you're on your own, make sure someone is assigned to you. If you're not on your own, obviously you've got someone who can do this for you, who will be with you, but a spotter. What is a spotter? A spotter is somebody that is accompanying you, maybe at a distance, because they don't want to sort of get in the way of all the interactions you'll be having, but they're keeping an eye on you. Your safety is just the utmost, most important to them. They'll be looking for potholes maybe on the floor where your Dalek could get stuck or even tip over. That'd be nasty. Looking out for anything on the floor that could be hazardous, or just pose a problem. Children, there could be small children running around. We had a situation again when a child had reins on them, but their parents had let go of the reins. Don't know why. Very unresponsible, and one of our Daleks actually hit one of the child and ran them over, and that could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't as bad as it sounds. But a spotter in this situation could have been really helpful. I don't know why this Dalek was whizzing around like that, and again, I don't know why the parents had let the child off the reins. 2 mistakes made, and they came together. But a spotter. So you're looking out for children that you could potentially not see, but you're also going to run into someone at an event where the child is a little bit enthusiastic or just a bit naughty, and they might come up to you and really believe you're real and get a bit too much into it and start touching, sort of pulling, banging, worst case kicking, which we don't want happening because these are expensive props. So a spotter will step in straight away and tell them, please don't touch. But in a really scary situation where, like this happened to me this weekend, where I didn't have a spotter with me at this point, but I had a child who kept coming up to me and they were sort of grabbing this and banging here. My Dalek's really, really loud because I have my speakers here, and I turned it right up and just screamed at them, do not touch, stay away. And they did back away. I could see the parent as well. They weren't doing anything. And that's the most scariest situation, really, because the parent isn't understanding what's going on, and it's just strange. You'd think the parents would understand that these are expensive props, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they think it's there to be played with and touched, which is absurd. But these situations can happen, and that's why a spotter is so important. And again, that's the same with the 501st. They always have someone spotting for all the troops, because they could trip up or there's loads of hazards around venues and things, and it's always good to have someone there, even if they're coming up to you as well and asking you, do you need a break, do you need to get out, do you need a drink, although a Dalek, you can house drink inside, which is another point I was going to make. You can have a bottle, a little bottle holder inside, so you just pause, have a drink. You don't need to take the top off or anything and reveal yourselves, because that's also a big thing for some events. You don't want to sort of break the illusion, so you could even put a packed lunch inside. I've been inside a Dalek for 5 hours once, and that was at a London event many years ago, around sort of 2011. I don't recommend it, but I was okay. It was comfortable, it was airy enough inside, and I had food and drink inside, so, and a spotter. My dad was spotting for me. I think I have covered most of the important things. Of course, you might be a bit nervous when you're stepping in or jumping into your Dalek at first, but just remember what the character is, who your character is, and if it's, for example, if you only just got into it, watch plenty of Dalek stories and just learn some phrases that they use. Obviously they use exterminate, but you want to be making conversation with people, you want to be in character, but at the same time you don't really want to be really annoying people. You can get away with so much. I'll give you some examples of the event I've just done. So I began the event, all through the event I was in character and quite nasty. I would go down corridors and things and be shouting, "This building is under Dalek control, stay where you are," chasing children. And obviously you want to sort of inject a bit of humour here and there, just to lighten the mood when a child starts crying or something, because you don't want to scar them for life. So one that I really like is if you've got someone who is sort of showing off or something, go up to them and take your plunger and sort of extend it and say, "Scanners reveal you are wearing ladies' underwear," or if it's a guy anyway, and something like that. That's what I like to do, just to lighten the mood. And obviously I like ask people to smell the stink plunger, and then I reveal that I've been unblocking the toilets.
Oh, bless him. You're all right.
Smell my stink plunger. I just unblocked the toilet with this one. Have a nice day.
Okay, bye-bye. We've got some more. Get Daleks. Yes, I got them to exterminate. Yeah, good.
And it always gets a laugh. Just think of things like that, just to lighten the mood, but stay in character. You're still a Dalek. You are still the most powerful being in the universe, and make people aware of that, because the Daleks like to drum it into the universe that they are the supreme pepper pots in the universe.
Are you getting me?
Behave yourself.
You got behaved.